All right, Shalom. All right, Shalom. All praises, all glory to Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. Double honor to the apostles of the great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings to the elect. I have another edition of the Mark of the Beast, and I have a recent article. This is from theblaze.com, and its headline, Human Chip Implants Move Mainstream Despite Mark of the Beast Fears. And this is dated, today's date, September 1st, 2016. It goes on to say, call it the coolness factor. Blame the millennial mindset of convenience at all costs, or shrug it off as a natural technological progression. The inability of a society to close a Pandora's box once it's been opened. But what's becoming increasingly clear is what used to be regarded as creepy and science fiction-like has now gone mainstream. Take RFID technology. Formerly the stuff of animal identification chip implants, the technology is now moved into the human hand. It's not, as this headline from the mainstream CBS News shows, exactly a topic of underground discussion any longer. So far in the article, dealing with this RFID microchip implant, the chip is not underground anymore. It's not something that us here at GMS Great Millstone that we have to dig up to find, to do a breakdown or a lesson on. It's something that's slowly becoming more and more a normal, like it says, a normal topic of discussion in everyday science news, tech news. If you get to these different science magazines, if you go to these different websites, they all talk about the RFID technology. So it's not something that these other groups, these other Israelite groups that don't believe in the mark of the beast being the chip, it's not something that they could just sweep under the rug anymore. It's going to come a time when Johanna and Nate and them can't do damage control. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a time when they have no choice but to accept the fact that this technology, there's an agenda behind it, okay? An evil agenda behind it, okay? So, like Apostle Hart says, when this thing does go mandatory, what is Nate and Johanna and these other guys, and what are the congregations going to do? Okay, what are you going to do? So I'm going to scroll down. It says read more. Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can read more. All right. And this is the image. All right. Let me go back. All right. It says, let's see. It says, meet the humans with microchips. Excuse me. All right. It says, meet the humans with microchips implanted in them. The news organization reported in June in a piece about a Minnesota software engineer who used his chip in his finger to control his smartphone, and a Dallas woman who used hers to open doors at her place of work in place of a key card. All right. And this is the image, man. So you see these implants are actually, available, man. But the thing is, it's not mandatory. And that's key to the prophecy in Revelation the 13th chapter. And I'm going to get that later in the lesson. But this thing is it's not fiction, man. Okay? It says the once queasy technology seems destined now to grow in popularity. Catholic Online may have recently written how a microchip implanted on human beings has chilling implications, conjuring up images of the mark of the beast as mentioned in the book of Revelations. And that's true. It is the mark of the beast. All right? But you also have disinformation, and then you have these different guys that are set up to downplay the impact that this microchip is supposed to have in the world. All right. But only the elect is going to be delivered. Only the elect is going to see through the deception. Okay. So it goes on to say, but in the same article, it was noted at length, the boom for society from chip implant technology is being touted as just too good to pass up. All right. It says the genie's out and he ain't headed back to his lamp anytime soon. And that's true. This microchip is being pushed out here heavily, man. You know, on the left hand side, you know, we starting with Apostle R. He designated 2016 as the year of the push. Well, on the left hand side, Esau's doing the same thing. That's why all this year, anything dealing with the microchip implant, RFID implant, it was always in like a mainstream news article or newspaper or news show. You know, more and more people on YouTube are noticing it. You know, there's more articles on Google about it. Okay, it's being pushed out there because Esau, this is his agenda, man, to microchip everybody. Okay, so it says Fox News reported this way back in 2014. For soldiers and journalists in war zones, such an implant could be the difference between life and death. A chip implant could also help law enforcement quickly locate a kidnapped child. Now, you can see the different applications that Esau is trying to use as a push to use this microchip. And I remember Apostle Gabar, he did a lesson on, I believe it was called Avante's Law, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I believe it was New York. This Jake was kidnapped. This little black kid was kidnapped. And then you had this white lobbyist come up and say, well, if he had an implant or something that could track him, like a watch or something like that, then that probably wouldn't have happened, or he would have been found earlier. So that's just a way for them to push the chip, okay? So it says a chip implant could also help law enforcement quickly locate a kidnapped child. And speaking of law enforcement, now law enforcement can also, if they get this chip, which is being introduced now, if they get chip, only they could use these different smart guns or these chip activated guns. That's soon to head into law enforcement, okay? Lord willing, all right. But that technology is out there now, okay? And the Apostle, he brought that out years ago on the street. You know, if you get these cops a gun, if they get the chip implant, you couldn't take the gun from the cop, like in the case with Brian Nichols down here in Georgia over 10 years ago. You couldn't take the cop's gun and use it unless you had the chip. That's what they're leading to, okay? Or that's what this society is leading to as well. All right, that's in the works. It says a chip implant could also help law enforcement quickly locate a kidnapped child, help monitor the location of people with Alzheimer's. That's in Obamacare, a class 2 implantable device, which is in Obamacare, despite all these different naysayers on the internet. Okay, the RFID chip, the microchip, the mark of the beast is in Obamacare. Okay, so it says help monitor the location of people with Alzheimer's, track the activities of felons who have been released from prison, which that was put out there a couple of years back, dealing with certain UK prisoners over there in England, in the UK. Okay, it says all good and arguably so. Meanwhile, on the convenience side, there's this chip implants in hands. Notice the article is saying in hands. So-called Deacon Iatharm from the IUIC. Okay, whether it's left hand or right hand, it doesn't matter. It says in hands, according to the scriptures. Revelation 20. That's a lot. Revelation. I believe. Revelation 20th chapter. Matter of fact, let me get that scripture real quick. It did mention hands, right? So let's go to Revelation chapter 20, right, verse 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Okay, And they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai Mashiach 1,000 years. Hands. It didn't say whether it's right or left, but it doesn't, it really doesn't matter. Okay? So that's what this article is pointing out, man. The truth is going to come out, man, and you other guys are being exposed for the incompetent reprobates that you are, man. All right? So it says, meanwhile, on the convenience side, there's this. Chip implants in hands could make it really fast to open a locked door, speed through a security checkpoint at the airport, with everything that they're saying, there's a actual article and a video on these different key points. It says to provide crucial medical information to emergency response officials, and don't forget the quick pay option, buying and selling, according to the scriptures. It says rather than waste valuable seconds, a couple seconds just to pull out a card or some cash. You don't really need the chip, but this is the type of convenience that Esau is trying to tell you. You don't even need to go in your purse or your wallet. Just swipe your hand, So it says rather than waste valuable seconds fishing in the pockets or pawing through purses to find debit or credit cards, or even more archaic, right? They're pushing that's the old world. The new world or new world order thing is to use this chip. All right. So it says even more archaic, personal checkbooks or cash. Customers may one day be able to pay for purchases simply by flashing a hand over a scanner. All right, and they show you that in the rap video, Goody Mob rap video, from Cell Therapy. Okay, they just waved their hand. It was so-called blacks in the store waving their hands. It says, but technology doesn't always mean convenience. Just as somebody whose computer's been hacked or car alarm has been activated, technology also doesn't always mean progress. Sometimes it brings loss of personal freedom and opens the door for government intruding in control, and that's what they want to do. That's what the elites want to do. They want to control everything. Okay? That's why these implants are being pushed out there. It's a deceptive tool for the elites, man. It says this also from Fox News. Chips are being used today to manage farm animals. Farmers can track sheep, pigs, and horses as they move through a gate, weigh them instantly. They're using these key words: instantly, convenience, right? And make sure they're eating properly. Never mind the imagery from George Orwell's Animal Farm, which George Orwell also wrote the book 1984. And as the apostles recommend, I recommend you watch that movie too, the old one and even the more recent one, because it just going to how a dystopian society is supposed to be. It shows about the New World Order. Okay. It says, never mind the imagery from George Orwell's Animal Farm that passage brings to mind. The real question that emerges is this: is any technology that's being used to manage farm animals really something that human beings, which according to these so-called elites, these so-called Jews, these Amalekites, the people are cattle, the people are animals anyway. So yeah, they want to chip you, okay? Just remember the quote from Henry Kissinger, or look up the quote from Henry Kissinger about the military. They're just dogs. So how much more the regular people in this society, okay? It says the real question that emerges is this: is any technology that's being used to manage farm animals really something that human beings, created in the image of an omniscient, omnipresent God, ought to be volunteering to implant? Or it's going to be mandatory anyway? Common sense says no. The constitutionally wise say heck no. And those of faith with fears of taking the mark of the beast should stick with the instinct. So they're telling you, if you believe it's the mark of it is the mark of the beast, man. It says the chip itself may not be satanic, which it is, because according to the law in the Bible, thou shalt not print any marks among you or in you, okay? It says, but the road it could lead to sure doesn't pass the smell test of the discerning. So if you're spiritually discerned, man, take heed to what I just brought out in this article, man. This microchip implant is definitely going to become mainstream and become mandatory. So I'm gonna end it off on the ever read scripture about the mark of the beast in Revelation 13th chapter. I'm gonna start at the 14th verse, and I'm gonna read down. It says, this is Revelation 13 and 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, which is Esau deceiving the people through his different technological miracles, whether it be for the public to use or for the military. Right? It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live, because they have imagined, so to speak, the Roman Empire in a more vicious light, man. It's the spirit of the Roman Empire coming back, reincarnated. That's why it says this. It says, and he had power, Esau, the so-called white man, to give life unto the image of the beast, the Roman Empire, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, which is really just the so-called white man using his empire, which is now America, to rule the world, his new world order, okay, his power structure. Verse 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehands. And when you look up this word mark, okay, I'm going to go to the word mark in the Greek. Charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark, right? Number 2, thing carved, sculpture, graven work. So something that you put in. It says from the same as a scratch or etching. When you scratch something or etch something into the skin, you make a cut. So when you get this, right, it says from Carax, a pill, a stick, or a palisade, which the chip looks like, right? I'm scratching, to sharpen to a point, which is like the needle. Grapho, to write with reference to express, to write one, fill with writing, to grave, okay? And as you can see in this image here, he has a cut, okay, in his skin. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back to the scripture. All right. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive an engraven or sculptured mark. Because it does leave a mark on your skin. It says in their right hand or in their foreheads. Because DARPA has something called the Brain Initiative, man. Obama has something called the Brain Initiative. And DARPA has these different brain programs to give you the chip, man. It's something that I did a video on called the Stenstrode. Look that up. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he, right? Because it talked about payments, man. Let's see if I can bring the article back up real quick. Let's go to Chrome. Yep, right. There you go, right back up. There it is. from the blaze, because those that take this chip are going to be blazoned by those nuclear missiles, man, and that blaze of fire. All right. It says, and that no man might buy or sell. All right, let's go back in the article where it says, here we go. It says rather than waste viable, it says, and don't forget the quick pay option. Rather than waste valuable seconds fishing in the pockets or plowing through purses to find debit or credit cards, or even more archaic, personal checkbooks or cash, customers may one day be able to pay for purchases simply by flashing a hand over a scanner. So it says here, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636, which is represented by the barcode. Let's go to the 14th chapter, straight to the point, the 9th verse. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, if you do receive this chip, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, that's the blaze, right? In the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai, his son. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they, the elect of Israel, that keep the commandments of the Most High Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. So if you take this chip, man, get ready to go down in a blaze, right? Which the Hebrew word for blaze is lahab, man. And so get ready to go down, in a nuclear blaze of a fire, man. In this coming nuclear holocaust, okay? But with that, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna give all praises, all glory, all honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom.